In the kingdom of Joseon, under the shimmering moonlight, shadows stirred within the grand palace. Inside its mighty walls, Prince Seung-min, a boy of only 9 summers, slumbered peacefully, unaware of the treachery brewing in the royal court. Seung-min, the exiled prince of Joseon, Seung-min is driven by revenge and honor to reclaim his throne. Trained by his loyal protector, Jang, he becomes a skilled warrior and compassionate leader. His heart is guided by love and justice, despite the dark shadows of betrayal that haunt him. Jang, once a royal warrior, Jang is a seasoned protector who raises Seung-min after the fall of his family. Filled with guilt for not saving the king and queen, he mentors Seung-min to prepare him for reclaiming the throne. His wisdom, strength, and loyalty form the backbone of Seung-min's journey. Hye-jin, a compassionate healer and Seung-min's love interest, Hye-jin shows him the power of kindness and understanding. Her gentle nature helps temper Seung-min's thirst for vengeance, making her his moral compass. She offers both strength and healing to his heart. Hyun, Seung-min's treacherous uncle, Hyun seizes the throne through betrayal and bloodshed. Ambitious and ruthless, he rules with fear, making him a formidable antagonist. His reign plunges the kingdom into chaos, and only Seung-min's return can bring justice. On that fateful night, his uncle, Hyun, a man consumed by ambition, unleashed an army upon his own family. Torches lit the dark as the soldiers stormed the palace, their steel glinting with lethal purpose. The king and queen fought valiantly to protect their home, but even their bravery could not withstand the onslaught of betrayal. Amid the chaos, Jang, a loyal servant and master swordsman, made a fateful decision. He fought fiercely in the burning hallways, but he saw the truth: the odds were insurmountable. With the king and queen yelling for him to protect the boy, Jang swore to them, "I will save him, even if it costs me my life." Scooping the prince from his chambers, Jang carried the boy through a hidden passage as fire engulfed the palace and Hyun ascended the throne. As they fled into the night, Seung-min's cries for his parents echoed in the silent forest. Jang's heart ached, but he knew there was no turning back. "Your time will come," he whispered to the boy. "But first, you must live." High in the misty mountains, far from Hyun's tyranny, Jang and Seung-min made their home. It was a harsh life, but it forged Seung-min in ways the palace never could. Jang trained him in secret, teaching him not just the art of the sword, but the principles of honor, strategy, and resilience. Years passed, and Seung-min transformed from a frightened boy into a warrior. But the fire of grief burned in his eyes. He trained without rest, haunted by the memory of his parents' last moments. Jang, though proud, often reminded him, "Revenge alone will not make a king." Joseon needs a leader who fights not just for vengeance, but for its people. It was a lesson that took root slowly but deeply in the young prince's heart. Seung-min's training kept him isolated from others until one day, in a quiet village nestled beneath cherry blossoms, fate introduced him to Hye-jin. She was a healer and daughter of the local innkeeper, a woman with quiet strength and an unwavering belief in justice. Hye-jin met Seung-min after he saved her from a group of bandits while passing through the village. Though Seung-min brushed off her gratitude, she sensed the sorrow in his eyes and offered him something he hadn't felt in years: kindness. Over time, Seung-min and Hye-jin crossed paths more often. She saw through his hardened exterior and began breaking down the walls he'd built around his heart. Together, they would walk through the forest, exchanging stories, laughter, and unspoken hopes. One night, as the cherry blossoms danced in the moonlight, Hye-jin asked him, "What is it you truly want, Seung-min?" For a moment, he hesitated. Then, in a voice weighed with purpose, he said, "I want to restore what was stolen, not just from me, but from the people who deserve better." Hye-jin smiled and replied, "Then you will. But you must learn to let someone fight alongside you." That night, Seung-min realized that for the first time since his exile, he no longer felt alone. But their peace was short-lived. Word reached Hyun that the lost prince might still be alive. Determined to crush any threat to his throne, Hyun dispatched assassins to seek and kill him. The quiet village became the stage for bloodshed when soldiers arrived at dawn, setting fire to homes and hunting for Seung-min. Hye-jin, risking her life, warned Seung-min and Jang just in time. The three fled into the mountains as chaos consumed the village. Hiding beneath the canopy of trees, Seung-min vowed, "This ends now. I will no longer run." Jang, though hesitant, nodded. "Then let us finish what we started. It is time to rally your allies." With Jang's guidance, Seung-min began seeking out those who still believed in the royal family. Farmers, blacksmiths, and former soldiers joined his cause, their loyalty ignited by the young prince's courage and humility. Hye-jin played her part, tending to the wounded and giving hope to the disheartened. Her quiet words became a beacon for the people, and many began calling her the flower of the rebellion. With each passing day, the rebellion grew. Seung-min trained his army as Jang once trained him, instilling discipline and belief in their shared cause. Their final goal was clear: reclaim the throne and free Joseon from Hyun's tyranny. On a cold morning, Seung-min's army descended upon the palace. Under the cover of darkness, they breached the gates, and the battle for Joseon began. Steel clashed. Arrows rained, and the cries of war echoed through the courtyards. In the grand hall, Seung-min came face to face with Hyun, the man who had stolen his family and his kingdom. The air between them burned with unspoken hatred. "You should have died with your father," Hyun spat, drawing his blade. Seung-min replied, "And yet, I've lived to see the end of your reign." Their duel was fierce, with memories of the past fueling every strike. But it was Seung-min's years of training under Jang that gave him the edge. In one swift move, he disarmed his uncle, pressing the tip of his blade to Hyun's throat. Hyun begged for his life, but Seung-min hesitated. The echoes of Jang's teachings and Hye-jin's kindness filled his mind. After a long pause, Seung-min declared, "Killing you will not heal this kingdom. Live with the shame of your failure." He exiled his uncle to the farthest reaches of the land. With Hyun defeated, Seung-min ascended the throne as the rightful king. But he did not rule alone. By his side was Hye-jin, whose wisdom and compassion balanced his strength. Together, they worked to rebuild Joseon, restoring hope to its people. Jang, his mentor and father figure, stepped into the shadows, content to see his pupil fulfill his destiny. As Seung-min looked upon the cherry blossoms blooming in the royal garden, he thought of the family he had lost and the family he had gained. And so, under the rule of a prince who had learned to fight not just with his sword, but with his heart, Joseon flourished once more, a kingdom reborn in the light of resilience and love. And so, Seung-min's name was etched into history, not as a boy born into royalty, but as a man who earned the crown through sacrifice, honor, and hope.